This is the most beautiful psalm in the Bible. The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely your love and your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Now, it starts off with, of course, in verse 1, shepherd, and we think like shepherd is like a really peaceful kind of person who just takes care of the sheep. But we have to remember, in biblical times, the shepherd was a figure who was associated with authority and violence in the Bible, and like it was associated with patriarchs, and like Moses was a shepherd, and David was a shepherd who was called to lead God's people like away from being a shepherd. And the second part of verse 1, I lack nothing, is significant because that's just crazy confidence and trust in the Lord. And it prompts you to ask, like, who is your shepherd? And in the second verse, when the imagery of green pastures and quiet waters is showing how we are revived in God's care. And in the third verse, it says for his name's sake, and this shows like his word is our character. In the next verse, the darkest valley is talking about a lot of destruction and death, and but the rod and staff is significant, as the shepherd's rod drives away like the flock's enemies, and the staff keeps the sheep in line. And in Revelations 2:26-27, Christ promises that the nations will be shepherded with a rod of iron. I think this is a Kirchhoff's gun kind of moment. And in the fifth verse, I really like it. When it says, you prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies, it shows that I interpret it as you always have more than you need, even in like, your darkest valley. And anointing your head with oil is talking about like bounty, prosperity, and rest. And the cup overflowing is about God's love being endless. Now the final verse, I like how it talks about, you dwell in the house of the Lord forever. But keep in mind, this was about David, David is the one who wrote this, and he was the leader of God's people. So he's holding God to his promise and depending on God. And this is just, it's interesting. Like, our current political leaders, they like make themselves as the one like we depend on, but David, depends on God.